What's up and welcome back to another video. If you're new, hi, my name is Michie, and if you're not, hi friend. Today we're going to be getting into the tea of friendships, which is something I've been thinking about recently. I know I'm not the only one who just woke up one day and found that they used to have like 300 friends and now they talk to 4 people. So I went to do some digging and I found that I'm not the only person who feels like this. I came across some videos that have literally millions of views of people saying that they don't have friends, across various ages, and B, there are a number of reasons, and here are the few that I found interesting. The first reason is that social media has changed the way we socialize. I think it's very easy to forget that we haven't had social media for that long. I mean, it's like less than 20 years. Facebook is like almost 20 years old. Instagram was founded in 2010, TikTok in 2016. So it hasn't been that long since friends didn't refer to like little pictures on your phone. Of course, this has a bunch of benefits. It's also caused some issues, as you would imagine. The first is that we don't know how to talk to people in person. I mean, we do, but we've definitely experienced this sort of degradation in the way we can communicate with people face to face. The definition of the term friend is a little bit different now compared to say 50 years ago. When you say a friend, do you mean someone who connects with your internet persona or someone who you connect with in real life? Because I think those are now two very different things. The person I am in person and the person I am online, there's a bit of a distinction, and so sometimes you might think that someone who is your genuine friend knows you when in reality they know who you present yourself to be online. And that's really interesting to me. It means that we're all sort of living like spies. We're living double agent lives. I find that in a lot of my online interactions with people, it always has this sort of inauthentic vibe to it. It always sort of feels like a proxy or a copy of something that's supposed to be, like I should be able to sit across from you and read your expressions and read your body language, but we don't necessarily have the ability to do that all the time. And it's not a bad thing, it's just something that sometimes turns into a bad thing. I get so sick of typing, I get so tired of just staring at my phone, and as a result my relationships do suffer. There are some friends who I don't communicate with, and so they don't have as much access to me as they would have if I was better at texting all the time. I am a bad texter and I'm working on it. It's not easy, but that's the situation on the ground. So my inability to constantly text people or like text them every single day has obviously affected all my friendships where the people in question are further than a walkable distance away from me. You know what I mean? This could be what's affecting our friendships. The second thing I'm going to talk about is unrealistic ideas about friendship. I don't know about anyone else, but personally, when I was growing up, my idea of friendships was what I watched on Disney Channel. It's what I saw on Cartoon Network. Your friends lived in the same neighborhood as you liked the same things, you were either all outcasts or you're all popular kids or you're all jocks. That's so silly. It's so funny now that I think about it. Friends talk to you every day, friends ate lunch with you, and so maybe a part of me thinks that if a person isn't doing those things or if they deviate from that standard, then that's not a real friend and we must cut you off. But that's not realistic. I think anyone who's had real friends in real life knows that human friendships are about as varied as human beings are. Like friendships, they come in all shapes and sizes. Although, now that I've said that out loud, maybe there's some kind of friendships that we should actively avoid, okay? Sometimes friendships serve a different purpose in different seasons of our lives, especially as we get older. And I don't think this is something that's very accurately reflected in media or like in TV shows and in movies and stuff. I don't think it's something that I really had to confront until I was in the situation. It's not something you really think about, like, oh, it's possible that my friends won't like the same things as me, or like my friends won't even want to do the same things that I want to do. But it be like that. It really do be like that. You have to find a way to work with that. That's just life. You can't expect to interact with your childhood friends the way you did when you were younger. It's not realistic. Adulthood changes people. Even just like high school, you're not necessarily an adult, but things just become different and you need to be able to change with those things. Your friendship has to be able to evolve, to shift, to be flexible. Maybe you have more friends than you think you have, but you're holding on to, the childish ways you used to interact with each other. That could be a reason. Maybe we need to grow up. Losing friends as you get older is an inevitable part of growing up. You might find that as you are turning into the person who you're meant to be, you are going down a different path than your childhood friends, than your best friends, than the people closest to you, and that doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. I think instead, we should be finding ways to still support each other in all our differences. Another thing to think about is that it's super fun to have like a friend group that has different personalities and different interests and hobbies. I feel like those are the kinds of friendships that just last forever, because you'll never be bored. And on to point number 3. This is tricky to talk about, but we have to consider this one also. You could be the problem. It could be my own toxic behavior, your own toxic behavior, that's keeping you from retaining friends, that's keeping you from having one of those like, oh, we've been friends for 7 years type of relationship. You have to look in the mirror and ask yourself, am I a witch? Is it me? Do these people say the same thing about me when our friendships come to an end? Maybe I am the problem and I must introspect. I must go within. I used to think I was an angel, but as I've gotten older, I have understood that I am capable and have done some dastardly things. Like I'm not a good person, and you have to be brave enough to confront that and consider that people, they are running away from you because you are. Some people actually want what's good for them, and that might not be you. That is such a difficult pill to swallow, but it's the truth. You might not be the person who's helping them as they are striving to do better in their life, and they might need to leave you behind. I love this quote in 12 Rules for Life in the 3rd chapter. Make friends with people who want the best for you. Jordan B. Peterson says, I'm just going to read it off right now. Here's something to consider. If you have a friend whose friendship you wouldn't recommend to your sister or your father or your son, why would you have such a friend for yourself? You might say, out of loyalty. Well, loyalty is not identical to stupidity. Loyalty is not identical to stupidity. People don't have to stay your friend just because you've been friends for 7 years. If you are the problem, you'll be cut out of those lives. You'll be chucked to the streets. Loyalty must be negotiated fairly and honestly. Friendship is a reciprocal arrangement. You are not morally obliged to support someone who is making the world a worse place. Quite the opposite. You should choose people who want things to be better, not worse. It's a good thing, not a selfish thing, to choose people who are good for you. It's appropriate and praiseworthy to associate with people whose lives would be improved if they saw your life improve. There are people who, when you start to do better, it will itch their heart. Their spirit won't be happy, and you might be that person. And that's fine if that's where you are right now and you don't want things to get better and you don't want to improve anything. That's okay. But people are allowed to cut you off. They're allowed to leave you behind. They're allowed to want better for themselves. And so are you. You are allowed, please. Look at the things happening around you and recognize that it's smelling and escape. Evacuate the premises. Here's the thing. Good friends, genuine friends, real friends won't allow you to continue being self-destructive. But like I said before, if that's what you want, then that's okay. You're associating with people who are bad for you, not because it's better for anyone, but because it's easier. You know it. Your friends know it. You are all bound by an implicit contract, one aimed at nihilism and failure and suffering of the stupidest sort. You've all decided to sacrifice the future to the present. You don't talk about it. You don't all get together and say, let's take the easier path. Let's indulge in whatever the moment might bring. And let's agree further not to call each other out on it. That way, we can more easily forget what we're doing. You don't mention any of that, but you all know what's really going on. If that sounds familiar, I need you to go to the group chat and say, guys, we must change. And maybe you do already feel like that, and that could be the reason why you think, oh, I don't have any genuine friends, because it feels like everyone's playing this game where we are pretending we're fine when we're not, and that's not sustainable. That can get very tiring. On the flip side, maybe you are the person who's finally growing out of that kind of behavior, and that is the 4th reason that I want to present to you as to why it feels like you don't have friends. It might be that you are growing and you can't carry everyone along with you, especially those who don't want to come. Maybe you're in a phase of your life where your priorities are different. Maybe you have come into an opportunity that your friends don't have. You're trying to further your career, you're in school, and then you you find that you just don't have time to hang out with your friends anymore. I think this is a slippery slope, because on one hand, it's not a bad thing at all to be trying to achieve something, especially if it's something difficult, something that needs you to take time away from, you know, the things that you do on a daily basis. But at the same time, support is everything. You really wouldn't be able to get very far if you didn't have a support system. You need to be able to balance. Make some time for the homies. They love you. We love you. And the last reason I want to highlight is that maybe you are just a bundle of nerves and you're so anxious that you've never ever put yourself out there, never tried to make friends, never tried to find a community. And listen, I get you. Statistics show that millennials and Gen Z are far more anxious than the generations before us were, and it's like a combination of our increased awareness of mental health issues and also the epidemic of overdiagnosis. But the truth still remains that our generation has this insane access to information. There's social media, there's phones, there's the fact that the world's gotten smaller and we've gotten smarter. We have so much information that it's almost stressful to think about. And as a result, we're afraid to fail, we're uncertain about the future, we just don't know what's going to happen. We're so stressed out and we're so anxious. But listen, the fact that we know this, the fact that we are able to see this, means that we have the ability to change it. I don't think it's something we should be fostering. Like, you can't find out that your leg is broken and just be like, oh well, broken leg. No, you have to do something about it, and being intentionally brave is one of the answers. We are so smart and we are so unhinged, but we can't perform normal tasks like ask someone to go and get ice cream with you and actually go. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with me? You have the potential to make meaningful, lasting friendships with that big Gen Z brain of yours. Our parents were limited to the people in their town or the people in their country. That's not the case for you. You can literally make friends with people across the world from the comfort of your toilet seat. That's crazy. You don't have to not have friends, because they're everywhere, even on your toilet. Be brave about your hobbies and interests too. Don't limit yourself to just the things the people around you are doing. Try something new. And that's the goal, I think, to go through life with people who have the same values as you, who understand you. It doesn't have to be like a friendship forged in the fires of life. It could literally be a friendship based on the fact that you both really like anime. The goal is genuine connection. That's it. And that's all I have for this video, just some stuff to think about, you know, a conversation starter. I just hope it gets you thinking and maybe considering the relationships that you have with people in your life. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe and share this video with your your friends if you have. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.